Welcome, brothers, sisters, fellow travelers. My name is Joel and this is Good Crazy. One of the other snares that I believe Jesus warned us about, that is to say, things that we might think of as okay, but that actually harm us, is the idea of religion itself. Yes, religion is a snare. It forms or causes a type of tribalism between human beings where we say, well, I have my religion and you have yours, and we're so different. But in reality, are we that different? And you can see how this tribalism affects us in the word itself. Religion comes from the Latin for the word, the very first part, which is a word of emphasis. Unlike in English, oftentimes can mean doing something again, but in Latin is a word of emphasis. And ligio means to tie. And it reminds me of how Jesus talked about the religious leaders of his time and how they like to tie up heavy loads to put on the shoulders of men. And so it goes with religion. Every religion has all these specific rules about how to have a relationship with God. And the rules are different from one to the other. And so we might think, well, my rules are better than your rules. But if we take a step back and we really empathize with other people, try to see the world through their eyes, it becomes a whole lot simpler. And let me give an example. So it might seem that Islam and Christianity are very different. I mean, they worship the God Allah, right? And Christians, many of them seem to worship Jesus, or they would say the creator or father. But interestingly, it's really just an issue of translation because the word Allah in Arabic means God. If you are a Christian and you speak Arabic, you refer to God as Allah. That's what that word means. It means God. And if you look at their actual beliefs, they worship the God of Abraham. Who is the God of Abraham? The Creator. They're worshiping the same God as Christians and Jews. They may have different rules about how they worship God, but they believe that they're worshiping the Creator as well. And undoubtedly, they have received blessings in their life from their Creator. And this is an important aspect to understand, is that as Jesus put it in the model prayer, when he's teaching us how to pray, it all begins with this idea, our Father in heaven, our Father. And he is the Father of all the people on the earth. The idea that he only helped out the nation of Israel and then Christians, it makes it seem like this is a father that doesn't care about all his children. When in reality, people throughout the earth, regardless of their belief systems, have received good things from our Father in heaven. And so it goes for Muslims. They have received blessings undoubtedly in their life that have confirmed to them that what they're doing is right. And then you can look at other religions like the Sikhs, for instance. In Sikhism, they believe there is only one God, similar to Islam. And they would say the very first guru of Sikhism, right? Guru Nanak said, there is no Hindu, there is no Muslim. He saw that they're all worshiping the same God, who they refer to as Waheguru, right? Which is wonderful teacher. And how beautiful that is to then see that it's once again like an issue of translation, that these people are just like us. They are our brothers and sisters, and they are worshiping the Creator in the best way that they know how, and they are receiving blessings in their life. And so to really see that religion is something that tends to divide us by making us see differences between us and other people, when in reality, we are all a family. That's a huge part to understand. We are all a family. And regardless of someone's beliefs, our Father loves that person. And sees their needs, and is trying to help that person in every way possible. And we are blind to the spiritual realm. Now, many people have gifts where they can perceive things that may be beyond the normal. I believe that. But in general, we see the things of this realm. And so we're all blind. In fact, when Jesus is teaching people how to pray, he says, to go into your inner room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is in secret, he says. So understanding that our Father is in secret. And so it's understandable that all of us have different ways of trying to connect with him. And maybe some ways are better than others. But respecting each person's individual right to try to make that connection with the Creator in their own way, in their own path, is incredibly important. And we can see this played out in a specific example that happened during Jesus' ministry, where John and James came to Jesus and said they found another person casting out demons in Jesus' name, and they tried to stop him because he wasn't with them. He wasn't one of them. He hadn't been a disciple of Jesus directly. And Jesus says, don't stop him. What are you doing? Don't stop him. He's like, he that isn't against us is for us. Or as it says in Luke, he that isn't against you is for you. Like, you'll know who your enemy is when they try to stop you from being able to worship God in your own way. That's a true enemy, someone that's trying to stop you. And even they are people that we should love, but especially people, regardless of their belief system. Let's say they're Hindu, Muslim, atheist, Satanist, whatever they are, if they aren't against you, if they are happy to allow you to worship God in your own way, then they are with us, right? They are not against us, they are with us. And that is so important to see because it allows us to empathize and love other people where they're at in life. While religion tends to divide us and we begin to see things as distinct and separate, when really we are all just one big family and we are all trying to figure out in our own way. And Jesus finishes that by saying, he that gives you a cup of water, right, in my name, they will not lose their reward. That's the simplest act of kindness that you can do, is give someone a cup of water. And he's saying his Father, our Father, notices that and is going to make sure that person is rewarded for such acts of kindness. And that's something you can see across all these different religions, right? Like in Sikhism or in Islam, right? They have ways of feeding the community that are completely free. Right? It reminds me of when Jesus talks about the future time of judgment where he's separating sheep and goats. The key difference isn't like what name you used for God or what particular rules you followed when trying to connect with God. It's you see someone in need and what do you do to help them? You see someone that needs water, or you see someone that needs food, or you see someone that needs clothing, and you respond to that need by helping them. You become an extension of God himself by doing loving things for other people. And that exists throughout all these different religions. And it can be harder to see the similarities when it's, say, a religion like Hinduism, where from a monotheistic, typical Western viewpoint, where there's only one God, you might see, well, that's clearly different. But I would say in my experience, there is so much wisdom to be found in what we refer to in the West as Hinduism, but they would refer to more as Sanatana Dharma, right? The right way of making these connections with God. Yoga means union. They're trying to connect with the divine, and they see the divine as having so many different aspects. I don't want to refer to it as a monolith, as if it's all the same or everyone has the same beliefs, but amongst the true scholars, I would say that I have found, even in that religion, they would see all of the different gods as actually different aspects of one permeating idea that they call Brahman, right? Referring to God everywhere. And what a beautiful thought that is, to be able to see different aspects of God and revere and worship those as well. But ultimately, they too are worshiping the Creator. I love Bollywood movies, and some of them will play on the idea of God intervening in situations on earth. And one of them, Shiva, is on earth, but they show, right, Shiva in the heavens, in space, in the universe. And you can see they're seeing Shiva as creator, right? An aspect, at least, of the creator God that is the father of all of us. What a beautiful thought. And so that's what I see. I see that religion is something that's dividing us, that's keeping us from being unified in our common humanity as a family. To see each of us, once again, like I mentioned in the video on leadership, as brothers and sisters, speaking different languages, seeing God, different aspects, but all trying to have that connection with our Father and to treat each other with love as He would wish us to do. And so, if I could encourage people to do anything in this regard, it would be to see religion as something that, rather than something that we should, in a tribalistic way, be so proud of our religion, that our religion is better than others. There's no reason to look at others and say what they're doing is definitely wrong. They're on their own path. And if what you're doing is so great, well, they'll be drawn to what you're doing without you having to force it upon them. And that attitude towards life and towards other people is something that's conducive to harmony and will lead to a more unified world where we quit seeing the differences in each other and we start seeing the commonality that makes us one family that wants to make this planet a place that is beautiful and unified and organized toward improvement and toward a better relationship with our Father in heaven. Until next time, may you know love, may you have peace, and may the truth set you free.